Crossroads South Middle School. Good evening. There we go, and a clap. All right, welcome to the Crossroads South Middle School Spring Band Concert. This is the first of 2 evenings of wonderful music for you. On stage right here, you see the Symphonic Band. Let's go ahead and give them a clap, Symphonic Band. And in the back over there, we have the Wind Symphony. Let's go ahead and give them a little wave and a clap. The Wind Symphony. Both our bands and the percussion ensembles this evening are under the direction of 2 incredible band directors. We have Mr. Strews right here. Let's give him a wave and a clap, Mr. Strews. Second band director is Mr. Coates, and he is more than likely back there with his Wind Symphony. So let's give him a clap. So this evening, you'll be hearing from the Symphonic Band, 2 percussion ensembles, and the Wind Symphony. So it's an evening packed of incredible band music and percussion music, and you're gonna love it. Your kids have been working extremely hard. Yes? Yeah, they're saying yes. We've been working extremely hard preparing this music, a lot of early mornings, a lot of extra practicing, a lot of lessons. Couple of notes though before we get started. If you have a cell phone, an iPhone, a Samsung, whatever it might be, if it rings or makes noise, go ahead and put that thing on silent right now, or completely turn it off. I wanted to let you know that we have multiple cameras this evening that are recording in high definition as part of our Viking television network. So all of our concerts that are recorded, they all get posted up to our Viking television network YouTube channel, and you can rewatch the concerts, send it to a relative or a loved one who couldn't make it tonight. But really, the ask is we want you to be present with your own eyes, without a screen in front of you, and without blocking anyone behind you, and just really enjoy the incredible music that your kids have prepared for you this evening. Let's see, exit signs are here. They're illuminated in case there's any problems. And I think we're almost ready to get set. You ready? Let's give it a clap. You ready? With no further ado, our first group up is going to be the Symphonic Band under the direction of Mr. Donald Strews.
Well, we figured we'd start this thing off with a bang, so hopefully you enjoyed that one. Fun thing, we actually had the composer come in and work with our group. So that was a piece composed by Dr. Scott Watson, and he came out and did a clinic with us. And so we had a chance to actually get some of the inside scoop about that piece. So it was a lot of fun having him out, and just a really, really fun piece to start the program off with. Next piece we're going to do is a piece called The Bonsai Tree, and I think you'll get the flavor of where this one is coming from as you take a listen. All right, so we're definitely going to change some style on you right now. We started out kind of fast, then we kind of slowed it down a little bit. Now we're going to get your toes tapping, hopefully, with a good Carl King march called Big Four. Give them a chance to kind of get themselves set. We've had a great year. This group has started from where we did, and I think you can hear they've grown a lot throughout the year. If you go back and listen to our winter concert, definitely you've seen and heard quite a bit of growth going on. So super proud of the work that these guys have done all year. We do have one more performance after this one. For those of you who might have missed it somehow, we do participate in a festival, Hershey Park Festival. We do perform here next Wednesday. Unfortunately, it's not open to the public, so you made it on the right time to be able to see it. But we're going to perform here for the judges. And then a couple days later, we're going to collect anybody who's coming with us out to the park. And kids get to spend a day in the park, but we also have an award ceremony there where we will receive some trophies from them, and we'll get some feedback from the judges about how they did. Kids will have a chance to kind of see and listen, and we can grow from that. But that is the next thing that we have. So we do still have morning rehearsals moving forward. All right, we will let you know when those are all done, promise. But we continue with our morning rehearsals up through that point, and then we'll be in contact and let you know kind of how the schedule is going to play out from then on out. All right. So at this point, what I would like to do, we have this is the last concert for some of these kids that they're going to be playing in Crossroads, and it's kind of a bittersweet moment. Like, we're excited that they get to head on up to the high school, but it's also kind of sad because they're leaving us. and we're definitely gonna miss. So can I have anybody who is an 8th grader, please? Anybody who's an 8th grader, please stand up. Please stand up. Big round of applause for all of our 8th graders. So we're super excited, like I said, to hear where you go next year at high school. Most of you are participating in the music program, so we're super excited. We'll see you there. Those of you who are not, you know how to reach us. This is always a home, so you're always welcome back and let us know what's going on. All right. So thank you very much. Again, big round of applause for our 8th graders. As we get close to the end of the school year, everybody always gets excited. Summer. Well, I got an offer for you. How does 2 weeks, I know, right? 2 weeks of summer band camp sound. We get together. This year we'll be over at Crossroads North for the summer band camp. Get together, we'll play some fun music. It is July 7th through the 17th. Love to have every one of these guys is all eligible. All right, so you have to be somebody going into 6th grade up to someone going into 9th grade. So even those 8th graders we just had here, they are all eligible. We'd love to have them come out. It's from 9 to 12 in the morning. And then at the end, we put a concert on. Not many districts have a program like this, and we're super lucky that not only does the admin here support this, but also up at the board office supports the fact that the arts are an important thing. And we've definitely experienced their dedication to what we're doing. And that summer music program is a great thing. So we'd love to have as many of these guys come out and join us. So again, you can, in all of the Friday folders and the district emails that have come out, you can see all that information in there. If you have any questions or problems trying to sign up, shoot me an email. I'll gladly answer any questions that you do have. But we'd love to have a nice, big, full ensemble this year for summer band. So hopefully we can have some of these guys join us. We'll have some information coming out about it from our side of things within the next week or so. All right. So that's our last little blurb of excitement. We're going to end with a piece that these guys actually chose. So they had a couple of different selections that they could choose from, and they wanted to end this year's concert for Symphonic Band with Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. So enjoy. All right, thank you for your patience. This next piece is a piece called Bombastics. You'll figure out why real quick. Sorry, those of you that are sitting in the first couple of rows, I should have given you a warning. You're about to experience the piece, it's gonna be great. So this is we have two different percussion classes that we teach throughout the day, and you're gonna have a chance to hear both percussion classes play a piece. And this is part of the curricular work that we do, and this is a legitimate percussion ensemble piece, and you'll hear everything here. So sit back and enjoy Bombastics.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Mr. Coates, and I have the pleasure of directing the House 2 Percussion Ensemble. I know Mr. Struess talked to you a little bit already, But the percussion ensemble aspect is really important for our students here, and we're so fortunate to have that. The job of a percussionist in a wind band is a very different job than the wind players in a wind band. And often in the wind band music, the percussion parts are not as challenging as they would be for a flute or a trumpet or a tuba player. So having this extra outlet for them to learn challenging music, as you can see, is really an amazing opportunity. So, House 2 Percussion Ensemble will be playing a piece called In the Sky. This was inspired by Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, though it sounds nothing like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. But picture the lyrics like a diamond in the sky, and the use of metallic instruments throughout the piece is supposed to represent the shimmering of stars. So we hope you enjoy In the Sky. Okay, so this is the Wind Symphony, and that was our opening piece called Cenotaph. A cenotaph, in case you don't know what that word means, it's basically a monument to somebody, not where they're buried. Think of like the Lincoln Memorial or the Washington Monument. The composer had those iconic images in mind when he wrote the piece. That piece, just so you know, is not a piece most middle schools are capable of playing. If you go on YouTube and you look for recordings, it's high schools and colleges playing that piece. So pretty impressive that they're able to do that. We're going to change gears and play something slow and pretty. This is blue and green music, inspired by Georgia O'Keeffe's painting, Blue and Green Music. When she painted this work, she basically thought that music could be portrayed by visual art. So then the composer Sam Hazo actually looked at her painting and then did the inverse. He translated her painting into music. So it's kind of like a full circle artistic realization. So this is blue and green music. So the next piece that we're going to play is called Blast Off by Joshua Idio. And this one ended up on our concert program in kind of a unique way. We had a month and a half back, our symphonic band students, some of them attended the CGMEA Honors Band event. And at that Honors Band event, the composer Joshua Idio was commissioned to write a brand new piece for Central Jersey Music Educators Association. And him and I got talking after the concert and thought it was a really cool piece. The piece is called Blast Off. It represents a rocket ship and the whole preparation of the rocket ship getting ready to blast off. So him and I got talking after, and he agreed to let our Wind Symphony be the first group to record this piece. So as soon as our concert is done, they're going to be working on doing a professional level recording of this piece of music for Blast Off. All right, we have one more piece of music left, but we have a whole bunch of people that I want to acknowledge before we play this final piece. First of all, I want to do exactly what the symphonic band did, and I want to acknowledge our 8th graders. Can 8th graders stand up, please? Amazing to see them on the stage for their final time here at Crossroads. It's always a cool thing getting ready for our spring concert because tomorrow night we have our jazz groups and then our concert band playing. And for most of those concert band students, this is their first spring concert. And we have those memories of these guys when they were much shorter and much younger musicians playing on this stage for just the second time. And it's just so cool to see them here for their last time. However, many more concerts to come up at SBHS, I hope. And you're going to keep in touch after you go up there, yes? Awesome, and parents too. Now, this next piece of music we performed first at a really cool event that we did for the first time this year, our children's concert, where we invited elementary and preschool age kids from all around South Brunswick School District to come and hear this band play, to get an idea for what band instruments are all about, and to hopefully inspire the next generation of students to come and join our band program later on. And these students performed this piece there, but I bring up this event because we have a whole community here that encourages us and allows us to do these really cool experiences with our kids. That was one of many, and you know because you were getting all the emails and the schedules, but our April and our May has been so busy with performances and opportunities for these kids to get out and play, and it's just amazing. And that comes from the leadership that we have in our schools. Mr. Sears, our music supervisor, Mrs. Capes, our principal, Mrs. Lopez, and Mr. Kimmick, our assistant principals. So we're so fortunate to have an administration that encourages and really promotes us being able to do all these cool things. So I'd like to give them a round of applause. Parents, I want to thank you, primarily you, because your love and dedication to what these students are doing here on the stage is really what makes this all happen. Okay, you having them here early in the mornings, as tough as that is, we know it's a tough task to get them up and get here in the mornings, but it's so worth it. Renting instruments, private lessons, all these things that you do to encourage your students to be successful here in the arts makes a huge difference. So students, at this point, we'd like you to give your parents a round of applause. Oh, stop. You can do much better than that. Try again. We have a fantastic staff here at Crossroads, and two of the people here helping out tonight, Mr. Michaels and Miss Noonan, you've gotten to know not only here helping out tonight, but they're every morning with us, early morning band and music with the drop-off and the parent drop-off in the morning. So we want to give them a big thank you. And I think at this point, you've heard me speak enough, and you want to hear our kids play. So they're going to play our final piece, selections from Moana.
Again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming out tonight. On behalf of myself, Ms. Keeps, and Mr. Kimmick, we are so incredibly grateful of each and every one of you, our students, our families, our staff, who make events like this possible for each of our students and everybody in the audience tonight. So again, let's give everybody in the room tonight a round of applause. The continued success of our music department from each and every one of your support this evening. Thank you so much. Our students are going to pack up. I wish everybody a great evening and a safe ride home.